Make you look at it.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Radio.
Is that kind of good food?
Yeah.
It's kind of
Calm. Look like he's more this stuff. More legit like he needed towards me.
Just enter into the hall truth. With your host, Mohammed on Truth Smith, bringing you the hawk. Prepare yourself.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا فمن يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I want to say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all the Muslimin who are tuning in to our show, who will tune in later on in the archives. And also we want to say peace to those who are tuning into our show who are non-Muslim, whether you're here for good intentions or evil intentions. Welcome to our show, alhamdulillah. Ali.
Yes.
Man, did you know that brother Fulan?
Yo, Fulan is really about this. Man, I seen yesterday. See what he had on that?
Oh man, subhanallah. And then you see sister Fulana?
I didn't really see it, but I heard about it.
Oh man.
Fulan told me about the sister.
Oh man, she was tripping.
Really tripping.
One of the most on the human being is the lisan, the tongue. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if you can guarantee him the 2 hollow parts, he will guarantee you Jannah. And he pointed to the tongue and the private area. This is the amazing thing. If you think about the tongue is the root of so many things. A lot of things start with a word. Let's take, for instance, the Shahada, the first declaration of faith. When you say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. A good statement. The Prophet Muhammad said, there is a statement that it is light on the tongue, but heavy in the balance. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, heavy on the scale, jazakallah khair. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanallah wa azim. Saying assalamu alaikum, spreading the greetings. So many good things come from the tongue.
Tilawah.
The tilawah, alhamdulillah. And then you have the bad things that come from the tongue. The evil that comes from the tongue. Wars start from the tongue. Anger starts from the tongue. So many things start from the tongue. So tonight, inshallah, we want to get into discussing about these things that come from the tongue of backbiting and slander. Because these are the things that have destroyed families, that have destroyed communities, that have destroyed nations. If you don't believe me, check the history books. Nations have been destroyed from lies. Nations have been destroyed from the word, go kill such and such. Go destroy such and such. Send the military, just words. Words that manifest into action. May Allah protect us, Ameen. So inshallah, we're going to take our first quick break and we'll be right back. Inshallah, our brother Ali is going to share with us the meaning of ghibah, the meaning of backbiting and slander, inshallah. So everybody please hold tight and we'll be right back, inshallah, and that is the hard truth.
You can install doors, replace the second window, and then the add-on to your home, build a shed in your backyard, or build the dream home you always wanted. It's no further. You can associate property maintenance and contracting to help make your dreams a reality. Pricing, quality work, and honest Muslims. You can associate will be your first and final stop, inshallah. You can call at 770-504-5993 or email missapnc@gmail.com. If you own multiple units, ask about our maintenance program. Located in the Atlanta area and Philippines, surrounding cities. Look at Associates Property Maintenance and Contracting. 770-504-5993. Have an idea? Give us a call.
Alhamdulillah, Brother Ali,
Sir.
please, brother, give us the definition of riba. What is riba? ما معنى الغيبة؟ ترجم الغيبة.
Ghiba is actually what we would call in English, it would be considered backbiting. But in Arabic, it's a little, in Islam, not Arabic, in Islam, its term is a broader term and a more definitive term. In English, if you say somebody backbiting, that means it's not something they would say to your face. This is also in Arabic. But in English, somebody said, well, I would have said it to his face, that is not considered backbiting. And in Islam, it's still considered backbiting. This is a horrible characteristic. It's so commonplace that it's one of probably the more dangerous sins. And it's a major sin. It's not a minor sin, as people would think. You know, they say, you know, it's Masai, Asghar, or Akbar, or whatever. No. This is a major sin. The Rasulullah said that, you know, in a hadith, in Sahih hadith, he said that, would you like to eat the flesh of your dead brother? And I mean, if you can imagine what that would be like to eat the flesh of your dead brother. But the reality of the situation is that this sin, this ghiba, this backbiting takes place probably every minute of every day in every country, somewhere at some time. Somebody is talking about somebody else. Something happens, you know, oh well, this happened and that happens. And ghiba isn't only, it says ghiba isn't only when you have things when you're, you know, dogging your brother out. It could be something that maybe you saw that wasn't so bad, but maybe your brother didn't want you to mention it. It could be, so he could have given sadaqah, and you go tell somebody else that he did that, and that could be a form of backbiting because that wasn't something that he wanted you to do. It doesn't have to always be, yo, this dude is this or that, the other.
I want to mention, since you said that, it reminds me, hadith, and I love this. This hadith almost brings tears to my eyes when I talk about it. So people, please bear with me. Please bear with me. I'm going to try to throw it together. The Prophet said that on the day of Qiyamah, as a matter of fact, we talk about this in the masjid over there. On the day of Qiyamah, Allah will draw a veil around one of his sinning servants. He will draw a veil around him. And he will say to this servant, remember this sin. He will say, yes, Allah. And remember this sin you committed. He will say, yes, Allah. And remember this sin you committed. He will say, yes, Allah. Until Allah finish asking about all his sins. And then he will say, on this day, I will veil your sins. I will hide your sins because you hid the sins of one of your brothers.
Subhanallah. May we be of those people.
I mean, because you know, we see something. This, hey, stop fooling. I'm going to the man. I'm going to such and such. I'm telling, you know, and imagine our leaders and the people of the communities just bought into everything.
You know, and you know what? I think a lot of people don't realize that this happens probably more when you're with your wife and you tell her what you saw somebody else do, Or you talk about this couple or that couple.
The confidential, what they call it. When you reside in your
confidentiality clause or whatever it may be, something confidential advisor or whatever that. But the bottom line is that's still ego. It's still backbiting. Now, if you that and that's telling the truth. If I saw someone do something and I'm positive that that person did what they did, then that's ghiba. All right. Now you have Buhtan, you have Namima, you have different forms and levels of this, but basically it's the sins of the tongue. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Naba, He says the word azwaja. He says He created things in pairs. So people always think of this as being physicalities and things like this, but your tongue has two purposes. You can either say something good out of it, or you can say something bad out of it. And recitation of the Quran is something good, speech is something good, but you can also say something bad by lying on people. Lying, period. You know, idle talk, idle chatter. You know, subhanAllah, the tongue is such an important part of a Muslim's life, because 5 times a day, at least, if you never mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or any of the other Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in or anybody else, then you at least 5 times a day you mention the name of your Rabb. But let's think about how many times in that day that you said something about this one. It's like it's a disease. Yo, this is a disease, man.
It is.
I mean, I'm talking about this is not a regular disease. It's like Ebola. Because no, real talk, because backbiting is so prevalent that people don't even know they're doing it. And then the sickest part of it is they know they're doing it, but yet they want to do it anyway. I got this information. I'm holding on. Who am I gonna tell?
But you know what? And a lot of times, for some reason, everybody becomes allies, and they say, "Well, I have to warn. I have to tell somebody about something." And a lot of people don't understand the degrees in that. I'm not going into that because I'm not a scholar. I'm not even going to touch that. You know, but the bottom line is,
the Rasulullah sallallahu in a Sahih hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. He said, he said, it was reported from Abu Hurairah that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Do you know what ghiba is?" They said, "Allah and His Messenger know best." And he said to them, "The Muslim is the brother of another Muslim." The Muslim. He didn't say your homeboys, your clique, the dudes at your masjid, the little Quran little group you got, your basketball buddies, the students in your hip class, or whatever. He said the Muslim, the one that said Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu, the shahadatain, the affirmation. I mean the negation and the affirmation, just like you said. The Muslim is the brother of another Muslim. He does not betray him. So we could take you talking behind somebody's back as a betrayal.
it is.
He said he does not lie to him. He said he does not lie to his brother. And this includes sisters. It's just the way it was written. I don't have the Arabic here, so I can't tell. It said the Muslim is the brother of another Muslim. He does not betray him, lie to him, or forsake him. Now, we speak English from 2015.
2016.
2016. I still speak from 2015. I haven't pulled up yet. Forsake. What does the word forsake mean?
Like to leave off, to leave somebody stranded. To
leave someone stranded or something like that, to write them off or whatever. He says the whole of the Muslim. He said the whole of the Muslim. I wish I had the Arabic so I could pull that word, the whole, which word they use for whole. It said the whole of the Muslim is sacred to the fellow Muslim, his honor, his health, and his honor, his wealth, and his blood. Taqwa is here. It is sufficient evil. It said it is sufficient evil for a man to despise his brother. Now, I grew up in Philly. You grew up in Columbus. Ohio. Somewhere in Ohio.
There's a lot of Columbus.
Oh yeah, there is. Okay. Columbus, Georgia. He's from Ohio. But listen, what I was saying is we grew up most likely, I don't know about you, but I grew up around gossip, slander, backbiting. It was normal everyday procedure. It was not something that people looked at as being bad. They just did it. The lady down the hall talking about the other lady over here. Your mother talking about your aunt, your uncle talking about how this one ain't this and this and that. We grew up around this, and we didn't see anything wrong with it. The only time something became a problem was when the person found out that you said something and they came and confronted you about it. It said it was reported by Anas, radiallahu anhu. He said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when I was taken up into the heavens, the mirage, I passed some people who had nails of copper, which they were scratching their own faces with, right? And it said, who are these people, O Jibril? He said, these are the ones who used to eat the flesh of the people and slander their honor. So this ghibah and backbiting, I'm pretty sure that it runs rampant in every community. Because I mean, I've heard it, I've done it, I've seen people that have done it.
You've done it?
Yeah, I have.
Well, I've never done nothing like that.
May Allah reward you for it. I've done it.
Listen, hold on. Before you go any further, and I'm glad you said that's the point that's the point I have to make. Men always talk about the women backbiting. Man, brothers do it more than women.
You talking about?
Yeah, brothers got it bad. Brothers, but see what brothers do, they'll dress it up where, a sister be straight up about it. Yeah, I'm talking about it. I know I'm supposed to stop.
Sisters are being meetings and be throwing shots across the room like it ain't a game.
Same room.
In the same room saying stuff. But what it is that the point I think we're trying to make, the point I think about this topic is the fact that this is something that's like a hidden, it's hidden because we do it so often. Yo, a brother comes home from his work day or whatever like that. Yo, I don't care who you talking about. You can be talking about your boss who's a non-Muslim. You can be talking about anybody. You still are talking about someone behind their back about something they wouldn't like. And if you do that about them people, you're going to do it about the Muslims.
I don't know. And you know what? We do that because I know I've worked on jobs. And I come home and
you be frustrated.
We use this excuse like, you don't know, I won't say his name, I won't say her name.
Yeah.
But I know I've come home from jobs and I tell my wife, like, babe, oh man, you should have said these people, they were this, these people, they were that, and so on and so forth. And now, I guess my question is, what if you don't say the name? What if you don't let the people know who it is? Or sometimes somebody might say the name and then they say, but you don't know them, so I can say the name since you don't know this person.
But look, okay. So you say, okay, so the situation happens that you want to tell your wife, and you're saying, I'm not gonna say the name. Psychologically, let's think what that does. What does it really do? You really want to slander or you really want to backbite, but you trying to manipulate the dean kind of like, oh, I'm not going to say a name. No, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything.
And we learned that before we became Muslims.
Before we became Muslims.
My grandma still all the time. You ain't got nothing good to say about somebody.
Listen,
don't say
if
nothing.
you had a rough day at work and somebody bothered you, whatever you do, you make, if they're not a Muslim, you make dua that they become a Muslim. If they are a Muslim, you make dua that your condition is better and that their condition becomes better. The reality of the situation is that, you know, we come up here every week and we talk about topics that we think are important and relevant to people. It's because we know ourselves we're not the best Muslims we can be. So what we do is we try to collect information and we not just up here telling you, you're this, the same.
You're talking to us first.
You're talking to me first.
So we can see ourselves.
I'm looking at me right now, look at me, knowing you're not supposed to do that. Like the same problems it's almost like we talking to ourselves. It's just we doing it in a group setting. And one of the easiest things to do is talk about somebody else.
So you mean to tell me that it is haram to even backbite or slander a non-Muslim?
Is it haram to backbite or slander a non-Muslim?
Yes.
I don't know.
It is.
I don't know.
And the proof is, Allah Azza wa Jal, first of all, we're in rare form tonight, y'all. Alhamdulillah, but the proof is Allah Azza wa Jal is al-Adil. What people don't understand is Allah Azza wa Jal will give everyone qisas. Everyone will have retribution. If you wronged anybody, whether it be a Muslim, a non-Muslim, an animal, will get retribution on the day of judgment. Everyone has his rights. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim or non-Muslim. We have been commanded as mankind to do the right thing. Now Allah does say, Ya ayyuhalladhina aminu, O you who believe. He says, Ya ayyuhal kafirun, O you disbelievers. He says, Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind. So Allah Azza wa Jal has pointed out O mankind a few times in the Quran. Matter of fact, we read the tafsir on one last night, where Allah addresses everyone. And Allah commands everyone to do right. He commands everyone. He says in one of the ayats, paraphrase, I'm not saying the whole ayat verbatim, but he says that he sends down the rain from the sky. He brings the kharaja, he brings out from the earth its herbs, its wheat, and so on and so forth. He said, for this, there are signs for me. These are signs. So believe in Allah. Allah Azza wa Jal is al-Adil and He's al-Hakim. Meaning Allah Azza wa Jal is just and He demands justice, no matter who it is. So it doesn't mean because, okay, this person doesn't believe in Allah that you can just say anything you want about them. You can't just go behind their back and make up stuff. Because even in Islam, we're not supposed to lie. The Prophet Muhammad said, what? Speak truth even if it's against who? Even against your own self. And that's hard for a lot of us got some scandals, dirty behind lies. And so we know our lives are so dirty, we can't tell the truth for nothing. Because we'll open up that door and all these skeletons will come out on a parade when I was Allah protect us. So the point is, we cannot even backbite or slander non-Muslims. Now I'm gonna tell you something.
If you saying that, you can't even backbite yourself.
How would you backbite yourself? No,
some people, if you start backbiting yourself, you're not responsible for your prayer at that point.
I would think so.
I might not be responsible.
Hey, you know what, man? Muhammad, man, he be tripping. What Muhammad be doing?
He's terrible.
Listen, Muhammad, man, I'm gonna tell you what this cat be doing. You know, you backbite yourself.
Yeah.
Also, Allah Azza wa Jal, He commands us to be upright. He commands us to be upright in our dealings. So, you know, I don't care what evil a person may do. what slanderous thing a person might do to you, we cannot do it. I'm gonna tell you one of the stories that I love. When some of the Quraysh, I think it was Abu Sufyan, had to stand in front of Heraclius.
Heraclius.
Was it who was it? Was it Abu Sufyan? Was it Abu Sufyan?
It was Abu Sufyan.
And he
couldn't
asked
lie.
about the problem, so he could
lie.
not lie.
Yo,
He couldn't say one
no
bad
matter
thing
what
about
they,
the problem.
no matter what they say about them Arabs and what they was doing back then, they had something. Even the worst of them, Abu Jahl and all of them, had something that we lack today. And this is one reason I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose that group of men. Those men had honor, man. They had honor.
Even before that, remember they tried to make up a lie until they came to the point they said
Your boy was like, who was it? Mughira? Or Rabi? I think it's Rabi or Mughira. One of those two was like, yo, we can't do it. He said we can't do it.
No one's gonna believe.
But the thing is this. The reality of the situation is backbiting. It's ijma of the scholars, consensus of the scholars that backbiting is a major sin. So think about this. If you backbit anybody in the last year and you haven't made tawbah for each one of those, that's going to be held against you.
It don't matter if they make tawbah. You know why?
Why?
In order for Allah to forgive you, that person must forgive you.
That's not all the way true.
Why not?
It says if asking that person for forgiveness will cause more fitan, you leave it and you make dua for that person, and from that point on you speak kindly of that person.
I never heard that.
It's true. Because you know what?
I understand that.
Yeah, because some cats, you like, what you saying?
He didn't say they go.
I didn't mean to say that. I'm just saying how a person.
He just said they gonna show you.
I didn't mean it as such. But I'm saying, like, you have to weigh the options. Like, if you said something bad about me, you could come to me like, yo, Ali, man, I was upset the other day when you did that. I said this. I'm like, for real, son? Wow, really? That's what you think of me? We may get into a discussion. But certain people you just can't go to and be like, yo. And this is an option you have to weigh. But what we have to do from that point on is speak kindly about that person.
You know, but a lot of my sahabas, we have this little thing, and we kind of laugh it off, but we're serious at the same time. Okay, help me get to paradise. You want to help? You want to take some of my sins? Help me, like, you know how we do. It's like,
yeah,
you know, if
go ahead.
You want to punch me? Go ahead. Help me, go ahead and punch me. We don't say it to nobody else. We do this between us, you know. But you know, it is amazing the level of slander and backbiting. Now let's look at the politicians. Let's look at Donald Trump. I guess I can't call him Donald Duck no more.
I don't know what you call him.
Because that'll be backbiting him or slandering.
You slandering him because it's not true. He's not
Donald Duck. I can't call him Donald Duck no more.
And think about no. All jokes aside, you said that a couple of weeks ago. You was making a joke about it. That brings to mind two hadith. Don't joke about something unless it's true, and it brings about the hadith of slandering human beings.
Donald Trump, please forgive me for calling you Donald Duck. If you ever see this archive video somewhere, if you're watching it now, hard truth.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that that's a major sin. And then this ayat, which you read constantly, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. This is, you believe, fear Allah as he should be feared and die not except in the state of Islam.
Now I'll tell you what you got to pull up right now.
Okay.
After you explain this out, then you can't read it without explaining it. But you got to go to Oh
man, we don't want that. That's gonna take you too far. And
it's the hawk. It's the hawk.
Yeah.
Gotta give him the hawk.
All right. No doubt. I'll look it up. Well, you explain this ayah while I look up. Wait.
Allah says, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun." This is all you who believe. fear Allah as well as he should be feared. Meaning that we should have taqwa of Allah. And this is my favorite, one of my favorite hadiths. I always say it, and I know y'all get tired of hearing it. But Umar bin Khattab asked Ubay bin Ka'b, Allah, I'm sorry, I love this hadith.
Yeah.
He said, what is taqwa? He said, taqwa is like if you walk through a thorny path, you lift up your garment so that you don't
keep
get
going.
SubhanAllah.
Keep going.
So we have this fear of Allah without trying.
But listen to this.
You're
lifting up your garment. No, you gotta give them a little more. Because they may not understand. It's thorn bushes now.
It grabs your clothes.
That grabs your clothes and rip your clothes. So, which would probably be safer for you to go through. But you're lifting up your garment and your bare legs are exposed to the thorns. So the point being is that these things are going to be difficult. This travel, this is not easy. To stop backbiting is not easy. We grew up doing it. It's something. It's almost ingrained in the culture.
Especially nowadays. And I hate to say it.
Rappers back talking about this rapper.
Men got it bad.
Women be thinking,
women got it bad.
yo, dudes be talking.
Sisters, men talk worse than you guys sometimes.
But I'm gonna think some of the worst backbiting comes in the home.
Yeah. When we confide in our spouses.
You know what this dude said?
Mm-hmm.
I think he.
Yeah, you know, and what we're doing, we're setting up destruction in our homes. You know, and
he said there's a word. Rasulullah told us a word that can get you to the hellfire. Well, you know, I'm not talking any word. No, a word. He said just a word.
Okay, saying a word.
A word could get you to the hellfire.
You know, another thing a lot of people don't know a lot, and this is real talk. Say me and you talking. The Prophet ﷺ talked about this. I'm going to give you an example. Me and you talking, and I start talking about somebody. Yeah. And you sit there and listen to me.
I'm just as responsible as you.
He gets the sin too.
I get the same sin too.
One, he didn't remind me of Allah and tell me to stop. And two, he didn't even walk away. He sit there and listen.
Yo, you know one of the biggest things is, and I'm gonna tell you what, and I think I'm not gonna say this is a black problem or a African American problem or a Western problem, but that's what I'm basically saying. No, this is our particular thing. I learned something. I sat with a sheikh one time, and I seen him do something that I was totally mortified. I was like, this is a sheikh. I can't believe he just did this. I was like, yo, I can't even take from this dude no more. It was that bad what I thought he did. With, you know me, due lack of knowledge, lack of intelligence, lack of patience, being American, being from Philly, all these things factored into what I saw. And another of his senior students came over and was like, listen, so I was taking a course. His senior student said, come over, he said, listen, do you think that they're perfect? He said, if you hang around them long enough, you will see many things wrong with them. He said, overlook the faults and take what you need. And I remember what my grandmother said when she said, take the meat and leave the bones.
I love that saying.
I love me too. I say it so much, I understand it. But the problem is that I want to challenge each and every one of you that's listening right now.
Hard truth challenge coming up.
Hard truth challenge going up. I want you to try to go one entire week.
Yes.
Can't hear him on the phone.
Listen on.
I want to send out a challenge to everybody who's watching the show.
All right, can you hear us now? Yeah. Okay, you hear us now? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I want to send out a challenge to everybody who's watching the show. If you're not watching the show, the people that are watching the show, just like the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said on the last sermon. Yo, inform those that are not here of what has been said here. Let's challenge ourselves. For one whole week, try not to say a bad word about anybody else. Try, really keep it consciously. Think, if you think something, say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, A'udhu billahi sami'il alim minash shaitanir rajim, wa nafsi wa nafti wa nafti. Whatever you have to say to get that out of you, don't say it. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that the things in the heart, they're gonna be there. The heart is diseased, but it's the manifestation. Yo, you don't get the hoodoo because you saw a sister and you all acting up. You all acting up, and you're how shall I say, you're aroused or excited. You don't get a sin for that. Oh wow, it's even worse. You get a sin is when you act upon it. We each and every one of us has a disease in our heart. I don't care if it's from Sheikh Uthaymeen, Bin Baz, Raslan, Sa'adi, and any other 10 sheikhs that rule the world. So they say. But each and every human being has a disease in their heart. And one of the worst diseases that has happened, I was talking to a brother the other day. Now this brother's super celibate. Don't let's not turn this into a thing. I said that for a particular reason. This brother, we should all follow the salah, but there's a particular way to do it, and that doesn't just include hadith, isbal, and things like that. It includes the actual process of akhlaq and khuluq, how to change your character and do these things. You can't take the outward appearance of a person and forget what the true thing. He said he came to change our character, not the way we dress, or not how we talk, or if we use a miswak or anything like that. It's part of the sunnah, so don't get my words twisted, which they usually. What I was saying is, he said something to me, man. We talked. I was making him some clothes for his. He was going to some conference. I never thought it would happen. I was like, what? He said the sheikhs. I was like, what? He said the sheikhs are refuting each other now. I said, you gotta be kidding me, man. The student of knowledge have gone, they've eaten everybody up, so now they're going after each other. So my thing is like this: when you're sitting in that durus, or you're sitting in that dars, and you're learning a concept, what's your purpose for that? To go backbite another person? To go talk about another person? So behind,
we're gonna take a quick break, and
what's wrong with you?
I got a news flash for you guys when we get back, inshallah.
What's wrong?
Because there's something else that goes on that we have to stop, inshallah. So we're gonna take a quick break. What's wrong? And we'll be right back. So let's take this quick break, inshallah.
The weekend started with our window, the add-on to the home, or the shed in the backyard, or build the dream home you always wanted. There's no further. You can associate property agency contracting will help make your dreams a reality. It's pricey, quality work, and honest Muslims. This associate will be your first and final stop, inshallah. You can call at 770-504-5993 or email smithapnc@gmail.com. If you own multiple units, ask about our maintenance program. Located in the Atlanta area and servicing surrounding cities. Yes, an associate property maintenance and contracting. 770-504-5993. Got an idea? Give us a call.
I want to bring you guys this breaking news. One of the biggest fitnas ever is when a woman or a man goes out of their homes to talk about their spouse, talk about marital problems. This is something we should never do. And we find this running rampant in our communities. Sisters going out complaining about their husbands. Brothers going out complaining about their wives. And we disguise it as advice. I need some advice, Aki. I need some advice, Aki. My wife is this, my wife is that. You know, and what we're doing, we're backbiting our wives. This is not what Allah said to do in the Quran. Allah says in the Quran, if there is conflict between the husband and wife, you do what? Get someone from his house and someone from her house. Come together and you discuss it. Get a mediator. That's what that means. Get a mediator. That's all you have to do. Get a mediator and discuss what the problem is. Very simple, very easy. But instead, we want to run to this brother, run to this brother, run to this sister, run to this sister, and we complain. And then if you tell a sister about your wife, you know what she's going to say? She's not doing her job. Oh, wow, she's this, she's that.
Or
she's not doing this. And then
or you tell a brother something about your wife, and that dude starts scheming. Let me tell you something, man. Wallahi, I have never been told some of the things I've been told in the last year I've been a Muslim. I would not imagine people would say the things that they say about the people they married to, or the people they were married to, or whatever the problem is. The news flash that you said is awesome. I got a news flash too.
Hold on, we got a news flash. We got to give them a news flash thing.
The news flash is leave all y'all ghetto business, all that.
Did you almost say it again?
I almost said
no,
it.
it's the hard truth. Go ahead.
All that nigger business away from the deen. I'm sorry I have to say it. I know some people are gonna be mad at me. I don't really care, but that's what it is. It's nigger business. You running around telling people about your business, and it's different if you have a friend, a close compadre, and you make it so that it's not a scenario in terms of like you telling. But reality, you supposed to take it to Allah. If you knew your deen and you knew your Quran, every answer you want is in there. Every answer you could possibly have. Oh, what is? How do I treat a wife when she acting up? Read the Sirah.
Read the Quran. Read the Sirah.
Read the Sirah. Oh man, it's in Hadith. So we have answers to our questions, but first of all, the problem is we don't want to study, and we don't want to look into these things. And like I said, every single show I'm gonna say the same thing. Do you really believe? Where is your iman? Where is your iman? Because if you believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that this is a major sin, let me get to this ayah he's talking about.
Oh yeah, let's read it.
This ayah he said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. It says, Waylun likulli humazatil lumaza. I'm gonna read that ayah again. It says, Waylun likulli humazatil lumaza. Now, this is really funny because in the translations, you'll look and you'll always find basically the same word. Looking, this sidebar, but I'm gonna tell you, you people, everybody, every Muslim should learn Arabic. Learn the language so you can get into the deeper books, because they hide stuff from us. They hide the stuff from us. Trust me, they're giving us what they want in English, but they hide the stuff. When it says whale, most people say, oh, that's woe. What you like? From what I found out, there's 7 parts of the hellfire, and there's a valley in the hellfire. And would you want to guess what the name of it is? Whale. There's a valley in the hellfire called Whale. And if you notice that every time they say whale, look at what follows it. look at all the surahs that you know that begin with whale. Look what follows it. Look at the type of people they're talking about.
It's a few of them.
And look at the people that follow it. These people will be in this valley. This is what it's talking about. Yo, look at I got to touch this idea at the crib. And see, we don't know this stuff because we take what some guy said here.
Learn something new today, alhamdulillah.
But
I did.
Yo, listen, I don't want to be in that valley. I don't want to be in that valley. And even if we think about like what did he say? It says, and we didn't even give you the translation. It said, woe to every scorner and mocker. What is scorn and mocking someone? What does that mean? Explain that to me. What does that mean? I'm not really getting it. Scorn.
That's a different translation though.
That's Sahih International.
Because the other Muslim Khan has woe to every backbiting and slander. From my understanding. I got it right here also, inshallah.
Let's pull up and let's see. Because they don't want me to really get it. I'll go get the call moves and go up, get it ugly. So Victor says, woe to every slandering transducer. People actually say his drawing is pretty good. I was surprised they were saying that.
You can't hear us? We have some phone issues tonight, sound like.
And then it says, woe to every.
Can you hear us now?
No, I'm texting you, not paying attention to my text.
I saw your text message, but I didn't get that in a minute. Okay, let's
hear you now.
You hear us now?
It says, so Muhammad Assad translated it as woe to every slanderer and fault finder.
Okay.
Fault finder. So think about that. Then you got Pickthall said, he said, woe to every slandering transducer. Then we're gonna go with, let's go with Yusuf Ali. What Yusuf Ali said. Woe to every scandal monger and backbiter. Let's just give one or two more and see what they did. Let's see what Shakir has to say. Shakir says, woe to every slander and defamer. So basically, talking about people is wrong.
Sure. About.
And you know what the crux of it is? It's not the actually talking about people that's really the bothersome point. It's the point that why?
That's a good question. What are you getting out of it?
What are you getting out of it?
That's a doggone good question.
I had to ask the question because I'm trying to figure out if you talking about me behind my back. First of all, you're a sucker because you can't say it to my face if you got a problem with me. Second of all, why are you saying it behind my back?
No.
Third of all, why are you mentioning it anyway? Because your heart is diseased. I know people, not many, but I know people who would say if they saw something, they wouldn't go tell somebody. They would like, brother, or they would secretly make dua for you. You know what I mean? Where is that at? And we're never gonna get ahead until we get that type of understanding of the deen. Yo, listen.
Let's hear from our callers. Yeah. We got some people on the line, and what I want to know, how do you deal with backbiting and slander? We don't really know who you guys are, so we're not saying come on here and admit that you backbite and slander.
Everybody on that phone do.
For the people on YouTube, the number is 347-324-3601. That's 347-324-3601. How do you, sisters or brothers, if a person comes up to you and says to you, do you know such and such, or girl, how do you deal with that? Because there's also something else that goes along with this, and that's the evil eye. the evil eye.
We won't get
You
into
know,
that.
and it's what we call today hating. You know, this thing is very deep, and it has been downplayed so much that now we only deal with the surface of Islam. We only dance on the surface of Islam. Salaam alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam. Let's make salah. Let's fast. That's the surface. There's a whole lot more to this.
There's whole sections of the hellfire just for Muslims.
SubhanAllah.
Let me ask you a question. What does this mean when narrated Abdullah ibn Amr? He said the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a Muslim is one who avoids harming Muslims with his tongue and his hand. And a muhajir is one who gives up all what Allah has forbidden. Yo, I gotta hold that down. I gotta
finish the surah.
Huh?
Did we finish the surah?
Did you want to go through the whole surah of that? I thought you just want to go through the ayah, because that ayah was enough for me.
We gotta do the whole surah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So yeah, I want to.
I gotta get this. This is a major. Okay, you can go through the surah.
What did you do? What did you do? You bookmark that?
I don't know.
And what happens?
It stays like that.
Even if you leave it, you can come back to it.
Yeah.
Oh, mashallah, this computer guy here. And a freaking computer guy over here.
That's what I do. Okay.
So I got a question before we go there.
Yeah.
What is somebody speaking good about you?
Be careful of the evil eye.
Well, some people don't want nobody saying nothing about them, period. Like, for instance, it helps. Who is calling? I'm trying. Wow. Now listen. Say somebody come up to you and says, or somebody comes to me and says, man, that brother Ali, man, mashallah, that brother, man, he's knowledgeable, man. That brother this, that brother that, you know. Yes. Can you hear me now? What is going on with this thing tonight? Hold on, we're gonna do something else here. We're gonna have to flip the script one time. What's the number here?
Can I read Quran?
Hopefully this won't be too much of an echo. Okay.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Can you hear us now? Okay. All right. So anyway, what was I talking about?
You were talking about someone said something.
So they're praising the person, right? They're praising the person. Now a lot of times we're discussing something. What's wrong?
We can't hear you.
You still can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh, hold on, I got you. I know what I gotta do. Let's do that.
You are now in the host queue.
Let's bring everybody on. And we're going to take this part here and we're going to do this. Can you hear me now?
No.
You can't hear me now? What is going on? Can you hear me now?
No.
Can you hear me now? Something is going on with Blog Talk tonight because it's not, that's the wrong number, no wonder. Okay.
Unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me now? Everybody can hear me out there? If you can hear me, raise your hand. So anyway, what happens is people overpraise, right? And a lot of times when somebody praises another person, what happens? This evil seed of kibber begins to set in for a lot of people. I'm not saying for all people. From the person who's being praised. So say a brother recites Quran beautifully, and the person says, man, I gotta tell that brother his Quran recitation is beautiful. A lot of people don't want to hear that because they are afraid that it could affect them reciting Quran. Now I'm doing it for the wrong reason. I'm doing it so I can be heard. I'm doing it to show off. You understand what I'm saying?
Yo, I hate to listen a lot. I can't stand it.
Alhamdulillah.
For various reasons, but the one thing is, a lot of us came into the deen. A lot of us who were out in the streets, which is a nice percentage of the Muslims in America. We came out of an environment where things like backbiting, talking about people, slandering, lying, straight up and down, lying, tail bearing. See, because these are all part of it. Riba is just one part of it. We talking about sins of the tongue, basically what we're really talking about. Because if Muhammad tells me something about Faris, he has a friend named Faris, he tells me something about Faris, and I go tell somebody else about Faris, I done carry the tail. That's tail bearing. That's also a sin. If you say something true about somebody, I don't care if you would say it to their face or not. This is backbiting. And if you say something that's not true or you don't know to be true, which is a huge thing. Well, I thought I saw Muhammad, man. Now you slandered the brother. So
let's get to that surah, y'all.
Okay. Surah Humaza. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It says, ويل لكل همزة لمزة الذي جمع مالا وعددا. يحسب أن ماله أخلدا كلا لينبذن في الحطمة وما أدراك ما الحطمة نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة إنها عليهم مؤصدة. So I guess you wanted to talk. Wow.
Because what happens is people, they lie and they slander. And these people, like I knew a guy, right? We call him the one upper.
Whatever you do, he did better.
And I'm not going to, we're not going to slander or backbite anybody like this. So of course, no one knows this guy. So this guy would just lie. He would just lie for credibility. He would lie to increase himself or increase what he was doing. But the funny thing was, you knew he was lying. And we was asking, why you just be lying? Why do you lie? You know us, how we are. We will ask him.
Like, you lying, B. And so, I just saw you yesterday. You said you was in Ohio. I saw you at the supermarket. You lying.
So the thing is, some people lie just for the sake of lying. Alhamdulillah,
I wouldn't look at it like that.
There was a situation with the Prophet Muhammad where him and Abu Bakr, before the Battle of Badr, there was about to be the war, and Abu Bakr and the Prophet Muhammad was walking, doing a type of recon, and a man came up, and the man was on his way to Mecca, and he said, he asked the Prophet Muhammad when the Prophet Muhammad asked him, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Mecca. So he said, where are you from? He asked the Prophet Muhammad. Now the Prophet Muhammad, if he had told him he was from Medina, they would have knew that he was the prophet. He would have warned the people of Quraysh about him being where he was at, right? So what did the Prophet say? In most cases, you would have lied as a stratagem of war, right? The Prophet didn't even lie. You know what he said?
What he said?
He said, Ana min al-ma'. He said, I am from water. Does anybody understand that?
Yes, I understand. I believe.
This is how sharp the Prophet was. He said, I'm from water. He didn't lie.
No, he didn't.
You see what I'm saying? And at the same time, he did not give up their strategic point. where they were stationed at, and so on and so forth. And it was beautiful, mashallah. So even though the Prophet of Islam, in a time when it probably been permissible, he still didn't lie. Look at subhanAllah, Ibrahim alayhi salam. They say Ibrahim lied. Did Ibrahim lie? When he said the big statue destroyed the little statues? See?
No. Actually, you have to check the wording that he used.
That's what it was. It was the wording.
He said, why don't you ask him?
Why don't you ask? Exactly.
He didn't say, he never said the big one destroyed the little one.
Exactly.
The only time is when, but then you really can't say that's a lie either.
Which one?
About, what's the name, being his sister. When Fir'aun, when he went to Fir'aun, he was like, this is my sister, and it was actually his wife.
Aziz.
That was Musa.
No, that was Ibrahim.
Oh, yeah.
Because they tried to say he lied about that.
He didn't lie about that. That's his sister in the day.
That's his sister in faith.
So, subhanAllah.
So the prophets, they didn't lie.
No.
They didn't lie. Alhamdulillah. Me and you guys out there, we probably tore up. He probably lied about everything. Somebody dropped some money in the ground, $100, $200, $300. You pick it up, somebody come back, hey, did anybody say $200, $300? What's the first thing you're going to say? I hope you're going to say, yes, I have it, I picked it up, this is your money, hey, here's your money back. But so many people are so greedy. There's so many people who do not even trust in the lives of Jeff that they just, I need that. That was from, and you know what they say? That was from Allah.
I want to touch on the point so that people can understand a particular thing that is really, really, I'm not gonna say misunderstood, but misused. You know, if Muhammad, and may Allah make it so, was a scholar, and I was a scholar, and may Allah make it so.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah, you probably have to live like Noah's age. And we would just be getting into a to level stage. But if he does something that is incorrect according to Islam, my job is to go to him as a fellow scholar and say, look, you know, this is, you know, we brought this and this and that, this is my proof and blah, blah, blah. What you said yesterday at the lecture, you know, you need to probably go back and correct that so we don't lead the people astray. Because the reality of the situation is, what is our purpose? Our purpose is, Allah said, I've created jinn and men only to worship me. But in that worship, we're supposed to spread the deen and do that. So when anybody does anything outside of that, then it's a problem. Yo, I dare you to walk down the street and tell a brother that's doing something wrong, you talk Allah, he going to fight. And you just telling them what you're supposed to tell them, fear Allah, but they want to fight.
But you know why? And I'll say this 1,001 times. People don't know Islam is supposed to humble you.
No, can I cut a piece of that off?
You want some of that? Take a piece, brother.
I'm gonna just take humble you off. People don't know Islam.
That's the truth.
And then humble you comes after that.
I say this because I look at the titles that the Muslims have, especially like on Facebook and stuff, and how they big themselves up and this and that. Where is the humbleness? Where is the humility? Where is the softness? Where is the softness of the heart? You know, we become Muslim and we look down on everybody, talk about everybody, and we exalt ourselves.
Is that you?
As if
is that backbiting?
I don't know. Tell me.
If you say,
you talk about, of course.
No. If you say that you have a group of people who are doing some type of mubtadi or they're doing some type of bid'ah, innovation in the deen.
But hold on, brother.
Is it backbiting?
They have to be warned against.
Yeah.
They have to be warned against.
So is that backbiting?
Yes. You know why? Because you made a good point earlier. And Allah, the Prophet ﷺ says it in the hadith that we are to go to our brothers and speak to them. Now, some of the ulama I've seen it in my own eyes, but I heard this that they have done this where, and I'm not saying this to ulama because mostly they're students who do things like this, but they will go to a person and sit with them and say, I think this is not right. And then, like you said, the two scholars will discuss it. They pull the books out, they pull the Quran out, they pull the Hadith out, the Tafsir, and they go back and forth. And once one of the scholars say, I'm not agreeing with you, and other, then that's when they go back and warn against them about something that they might be teaching that could be detrimental to your Islam. But
at what point do you say that, okay, have you proven him wrong, or you just have a different opinion at this point?
And that's the fitna. Now, cats like us, Joe Baloney, we really can't even talk about this. And that's the funny thing, because I went to Washington, D.C., and the imam was giving a khutbah. The imam was a young guy. His tea is good. Mashallah. Shout out to my wife, Sister Zahara Smith. This tea is excellent. Mashallah. Zakallah khair. Brother on the minbar is going in on the minbar about a scholar. And this was a big fitna at the time, and something was put on, I guess, Facebook or something, and the scholar refuted the brother, and the brother got up there, and I think he had like 3 khutbahs in a row from what he said on the minbar. And he said, this is going to be my last khutbah talking about this situation. And I'm like, subhanAllah, you get on the minbar to attack somebody. Where is the building of the Iman? When I go to Jumu'ah, the Prophet ﷺ said that Jumu'ah should actually from one Jumu'ah to the next Jumu'ah. This guy is on the minbar, beating this man down. I'm sitting there like, is this crazy? Mm-hmm. I was shocked. I got nothing from that khutbah. Because he was in his feelings. Mm-hmm. He was in his feelings. And straight slander, I don't know who was slandering, but I don't know what he's doing. I didn't want to hear it. I started to get up and walk out of the masjid. That's not what the minbar is for. We don't get up there and just start blasting people. Subhanallah, I got nothing from the khutbah except that inshallah Allah gave me my
no, you did get something from
I got the reward inshallah.
You got more than that.
I was upset.
I know, but listen, there was a brother who graduated from Medina, and he said, he said, let me ask you a question. He said, I learned from the good scholars and I learned from the bad scholars. I said, bad scholars? They're bad scholars? He said, yes.
That's a heavy statement.
Yeah. He said, they're bad scholars and there's good scholars. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, some of them are mean and they teach this way and they teach that way. And I said, could that not be your opinion? Because some people don't like the way I do what I do. Like, I have people like just be like, oh, I don't like the way you relay the information or whatever like that. But he said he learned how to teach and how not to teach. But that's a matter of opinion. You're not going to be in an institution like that and people that can't teach and they're going to allow them to teach. Some people are just rougher than others.
No. You know, we got all these people on our line. I want to hear from you guys. I know maybe this is a kind of a iffy topic to call in. And
they probably backbiting right now.
No, they're not backbiting. Leave the listeners alone, man. Listeners,
they backbiting about us. Somebody just started backbiting about me. They're like, that dude, man. You know
they
what?
think they know. They don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing.
And you're right. We don't know nothing. Alhamdulillah.
Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you know one narration of mine, tells you, so
Alhamdulillah.
We try to spread the narrations as we can. And see, we're not sitting up acting like we should do or even to or anything like that. I mean, we both do try to study as much as possible. We sit with people and we learn things, and We try to advance our deen, and I'm not advancing my deen so I can sit up here and you think I'm anybody, or oh, he said this or that, he can, this Arabic and nothing. I don't want to be far away from Allah on that day of Yom Kippur.
Man, I was reciting last night. What was I reciting? Al-Qari. And it tore me apart, man. It tore me apart because Allah Azza wa Jalla says, فَمَّا خَفَتْ مَوَازِنُهُ. He said, whoever's
Light.
Scales will be light on that day.
Look how he does it.
Subhanallah.
Look how he does that surah. He did the whole surah the same way, and it's a particular style. He said al-Qariya. He just gave you a statement. Then he says no Qariya. What is it? ما أدراك ما القارية. And he says يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث. Right? You see how he does it, but then guess what? At the end that you were talking about, he went right back to the same thing. What does this have here? What is this? And then he explains it to you.
It's real.
And that stuff that gets your attention. You hear a word you never heard or something you never hear,
Let's inshallah take a caller. It's I lost the caller.
I don't hear you.
You can't hear us? What is going on tonight?
Live talk.
I know we're being secretly
censored.
Muted. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's good you got her here, because what would be funny?
What's that?
We could be here the whole time talking.
Well, but you can tell by the people that's right there that there's people listening to us. So we don't know, inshallah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, my wife, Sister Zahra.
I know you're going to answer my call real quick.
What's up?
I just wanted to say something really quick. I think that one thing people need to remember is that, well, let me back up. When Allah says in the Quran for us not to listen to our loud, you know how you say that?
Yes.
Our loud. Okay.
So Mu'min.
Right, the evil vain talk. Okay. So it's really important, especially for sisters. I guess I have to say especially for sisters because that's really all I speak with. But we have to remember that when Allah seals our mouths on Yom Kippur and our limbs testify against us, our ears will testify against us that we listen to out loud this evil talk. Like when the brother said earlier to say ittaqillah, fear, remind somebody to fear Allah. You'd be surprised how many times you see people or hear people backbite somebody and then those sitting around listening just believe it. They just believe it. I see people post things on Facebook when I was on Facebook, but you go on somebody's page and you may see a sister backbiting somebody, and then all the responses. Really? Wow! I didn't know that. I didn't know she did that. Oh, wow! He did that. He did that.
And it's not.
Somebody saying, "Let's see, what's your proof?" Or the fear of Allah, don't blast nobody on. You don't say any of that. Just don't very far few between you. You have one person that may come on and say, sister, what you're doing is wrong, or this is a form of, like he said, an anema, or people they're just trying right along with it. Oh wow,
they run with it. They run with it.
And so it's terrible. So we have to be careful to not listen to it, but remind one another, none. You know, you ask for some big proof, like when they talked about the admitting the zina. And the law says that in something more, you have to have 4 witnesses. Now, the likeliness of 4 people seeing someone penetrate is nothing, really.
That's the point.
To show.
If it's 4 people there at the time, there's something else going on.
They get their turn.
You know what I'm saying? Like she said, it's hard to find 4 witnesses. So I'm saying if it's 4 people, if there's 4 people there at the time when that's going on, it's a lot more than just that going on.
I'm gonna tell you something else too. I'm gonna tell you something else. When we get you off back, there was a time in one of Khalifa, where there was a woman who lived in another place, another country, and she was known for being a prostitute. And she went and moved to another location. And one of the people from that city recognized her. And he went to the Amir al-Mu'mineen and he said, "Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, this woman here, she's a prostitute." You know what he said? He said, "Why are you talking about her? Maybe if she was, maybe she's trying to change herself. Maybe she's trying to better herself." This is the hikmah. Because these things destroy communities. Like, me and my wife was talking one day, and we were discussing, I forgot what we were discussing, baby. We was talking about how things that are said, if you're part of a community, it can disrupt the whole community. You know what I'm saying? So when we're talking about something, because she was asking me a question about something, I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I was explaining to her, if you say we're part of our community, right? And one of us decided to go out and rob a bank, and we get caught. Guess what? That don't just affect me or my family if I was the one who done it, but it affects the whole community as a whole. And this is just like backbiting and slander. It tears communities apart. Because some people want to say, "Nah, that's brother such and such, I'm not gonna believe it." And some people say, "Well, I know brother such and such, he did it." Or that's such and such, you see what I'm saying? And people start to divide.
You know what? If you look at sin, it's been said that whatever leads to sin is sin in and of itself. So if you know that you're gonna smoke some marijuana and you go to the store and buy a Philly or a blunt or a Garcia Vega, whatever you use, that is a sin in and of itself because of the intention behind it. The problem is there's so many sins that people take lightly. I don't understand what's going on. Yo, we talking about people. Wallahi. I can't remember. No, I can't say. Yeah, I can't say wallahi. Wallahi, most of the time I've ever said anything about somebody else behind their back in my life, I knew that I was wrong. I knew. I felt something in my heart that this person is not here. And then you have to start saying why. Listen, backbiting in Islam is we have a hadith from Aisha. And it talks about, there was a very short woman, I can't remember the woman's name. It wasn't Safia, I think. But anyway, there was a very short woman that had either entered the house of Rasul or was at the door or something like that. And after she left, Aisha didn't open her mouth. She made a gesture about the woman being short. The Rasulullah admonished her heavily for that, and she hadn't said a word. If we make fun of somebody because they cross-eyed, because their sneakers is messed up, because they sleep too much, they not clean, whatever the situation is we are supposed to be the best of mankind. We are following these people into things just like he said we would. We don't do that.
Follow Yahoo into the whole religion.
We don't do that. We don't backbite. As Muslims, we should not backbite. And you know what I'm saying? Oh, what? I just want to say one more thing. One more thing, real quick. I say one more thing. When are we gonna stop making excuses and live the deen to the best of our ability? Allah knows best. Every single day I try something to be better at my Islam, because you know what? Anybody out there that's listening that may want to tell somebody else, all y'all, including me, gonna be dead one day. Dead. Yeah, I say like I'm from Philly, dead. And the bottom line is every single moment that we've lived is going to be accounted for. And when you do major sins like adultery, fornication, stealing, and doing all these different things, and you do not make tawbah for these things, stuck for it.
Okay, Z, you still there?
She hung up on
She's
something.
still there. Z. I hope she can still hear us. Maybe she can hear us. Okay, let's take our next caller. You're on the Hard Truth with your host, Muhammad Hard Truth Smith. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
First of all, I want to ask Allah to forgive all of us.
Ameen.
Because I think a lot of us do it, and sometimes we don't realize we're doing it. Especially if you're in a state of defending yourself because of what has been said about you.
Mm-hmm.
And so is that considered backbiting?
Yep.
Yourself?
You know what? You know what? That's a good point. You know why? You know why that's a good point? Because sometimes somebody says something behind your back, right? Mm-hmm. And it's been brought to you. They said, what? Oh, I remember that time when, yeah, I know he crazy. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like she said, we get into defense mode, and then we start doing the same exact thing they did. One of my favorite movies was Lion in the Desert, because of a saying in the movie where the guy,
Anthony Quinn.
Yeah, I love this. I love this movie. It was so good. The guy says,
when he played with Mokhtar.
Yes, he's like, I love the movie. But listen, so he says, you know, the Italians were killing the people mercilessly, you know, taking the khimars off of the sisters and killing the brothers and everything. So
don't be too long.
The guy says one of the Muslim brothers was took some prisoners, and he was about to kill him. And Umar Mukhtar snatched the gun. He said, what are you doing? He said, they do this to us. He said, but they are not our teachers. Man, listen, that changed my life.
Real talk.
Because we're supposed to learn from Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you know, and like the sister said, sometimes we get caught up in, you know, we get angry, we want to defend our honor, defend ourselves, and then we'll go right into doing the same thing they did. Go ahead, sis, I'm sorry.
I said that to say that, you know, we all strive to be good Muslims, and, you know, we do fall short, and it's good that we remind each other, because we do fall short, and Allah knows that we are not perfect. One of the things that I try to do as a Muslima is, if I'm in a situation and I hear something about someone, I try not to go to other people. I try to actually go to the source. Mm-hmm. And the source will say, well, you know, I don't know what you heard, and, you know, if you heard it from that person, you need to go to that person, because I'm not trying to be involved. And my whole thing is, you're already involved. And so I'm trying to come to you so that we can resolve it without involving other people into the situation. Mm-hmm. and it was based on information that was received that was accurate. So it wasn't inaccurate. It was accurate information, but the system felt that it wasn't my place to approach her. And so I had to go outside of the source to basically get other information because I don't know the system. So is that considered backbiting, getting sources, other people involved in trying to resolve a situation?
No, that's something else.
Remember what Ali just called it?
Okay.
What'd you call it?
It's called namima. Namima is like considered slanderous behavior or tale. It's the
tale bearing.
And the sins of the tongue is what we talk about. The only thing we've been able to get to is ghiba. There's ghiba, there's lying, there's gossip, there's tale bearing, there's slander. This is why if you look, if people would take a chance to look at the hadith as a whole, there are so many hadith about being quiet. Say, the less you say, the less chance you have of saying something. You know how many times we tale bear? We tale bear every day. Some Muslim will tell you, you know, something about her husband. Yeah, my husband did this and that and other, and it may not be nothing bad. And you go bring it to somebody else. That's considered tale bear.
This is a different scenario. This is a scenario based upon, you know, a marriage being, you know, something serious. You know, not something petty, not something.
Let me ask you a question.
Talk about a system. It's trying to get to the bottom of it because you feel like people are lying, and so you're trying to get to the truth. Because I'm a truthful person, so if I'm a truthful person, I expect you to be truthful. Now, if I come at you and I'm coming at you as a Muslim and I'm trying to get information from you, allowing you to explain yourself, and then you come at me sideways, then we're gonna have problems because I'm trying to be a good Muslim and I'm trying to resolve the matter. And my thing is, I just want to get to the bottom of it so that we can move forward, and whatever the situation is, it's gonna be regardless. You know what I'm saying? But I try to protect myself at the same time because I'm not trying to offend people or slander people. But when a person says, well, you know, I don't want to be put in a situation and you need to talk to this person, you need to talk to your husband. No, I need to talk to you because you put yourself in a situation. Because it's so.
Yeah, because they was carrying tales. You're right. They was carrying tales. And the thing is, this person who bought this to you, you know, first of all,
that's
only way I bring something to somebody if there is like
imminent
crucial life and death, something about to happen. Somebody's in danger. But the Prophet ﷺ said, a good Muslim or is it a believer is one who leaves off that which does not concern him. That doesn't concern him.
But that's the thing. It wasn't a Muslim that brought it to me. It's a family member that brought it to me regarding a situation that I didn't know about.
Okay.
But it involved a husband and another Muslim.
I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to leave that to us.
But I'm just saying, I'm not trying to involve you. I'm just trying to understand, because I think what we don't understand is we don't realize what is backbiting, what is defending yourself backbiting. You know, it just seems to be so wide. So it's like, damn, what am I supposed to say? What am I not supposed to? Am I supposed to keep my mouth shut all the way, regardless if I'm right, wrong, whatever situation?
I mean, I'll tell you like this. That is the noble way when you put your trust in Allah and let Allah. Look at Aisha al-Anha. Aisha al-Anha, when she was slandered,
she didn't say anything.
She didn't say nothing. You know, her whole thing was like, I can't.
No, we're not living in those kind of days.
It does no. But that is, but sis, those are our examples. Those are the way we strive to be like. We can't use this excuse we don't live in those days.
I know, but you know, and I can country, but I understand what you're saying. But you know, nowadays, if somebody says something about you and if you heard the saying, come on, let's keep it real.
What's the saying?
You heard the saying. What the saying is, you know, somebody say something about she was showing her, well, it must be true because she ain't trying to defend herself.
Who cares?
Yeah, y'all never heard that before?
Yeah, but who cares? But true to who?
But I'm saying that's what people say,
But true to who?
right?
When you think about that, think about what you just said. If somebody was to say something, well, Ali did this, right? They say Ali did this, and Ali doesn't defend himself. It must be true. And the people are like, ooh, this is Ali. You know what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's true. I don't give a damn what the people think.
You know, there's
Sorry.
two of Allah's names.
People say that.
No, it's real.
Two of Allah's names. The debaser.
Yeah.
And Al-Rafiya, the one who,
the one who raises the one who's debates.
Yes. And so the thing is, if we look at some of the examples of those who came before us, how they were debased and how they were raised up and so on and so forth, you know, if we take on that understanding of Allah being in control of everything, we won the battle. You know, it was a discussion today about vaccinations, taking vaccinations. I hate vaccinations. I don't agree with it. I think it's totally un-Islamic to put a disease in you, hoping your body can fight it, and then now your kids can go to school and so on and so forth. Women, mainly, soon as they get an ache or a pain, what do? They run and get Tylenol. They run and get pills. They run. It's
you
like,
can't say women in general. Some women, because a lot of women are.
Okay, some women, and some men actually, yes, on a natural path. But the thing is, we have gotten so far away from putting our trust in Allah that we run to the medicine first instead of making dua first. We run to the medicine first instead of being patient with Allah's coming.
But we also do that, like the sister was saying, we also do that when it comes to personal problems and issues. We go run to how we know how to solve things. And this is what I've always been trying to do with myself. And I think that many people should try to do this. I mean, I've always said it something, and this word, you'll hear this word 1,000 times from me. The Western Muslim paradigm is the problem. The way we come from one place and we look at something from the viewpoint that we've always looked at it, and we try to slap Islam on top of that, but it's very difficult when you know, anybody that knows anything about physics, if I was to take a hill and run water down that hill, the first time I ran that water down that hill, it will find the easiest path. Mm-hmm. And every time I ran it down there, it would find that same path. Mm-hmm. Now, what would happen is it would cut a groove in there and it would eventually become a river. Now, if I stopped that river up and tried to run water down that hill, we would have floods and problems and damage. And this is what happens with us in Islam. A lot of us were used to cursing, talking reckless, talking, not respecting our women, not doing whatever it is that we didn't do. So we always fall back into those things. But in Islam, one of the problems that we have with each other is that when we try to advise each other, people don't want to hear it.
You're offended.
They get offended. And I'm trying to tell you what Allah and His Messenger said, the same one that created me and the same one that created you. But I tell you what was funny about it is a lot of times because I look like him and he looked like me. I mean, we the same color, you know that. But if some dude flew over here with a big turban with a ruby on the front, he would know everything. So, you know, alhamdulillah.
With a ruby on the front of it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say that, you know, hearing this is a very important show to me because I think there's a lot of people that don't think exactly what backbiting is. And the only thing I can say that we can all just work on ourselves and just remind us to ourselves and try to be better Muslims so long as our hearts. And, you know, the circle that I run in, the people that I know that I love, they know that I'm a good person, I'm a good person. But there's a lot of things that we all need to work on, and I pray that Allah blesses us and become better Muslims and to learn to keep our mouths shut. Because that's the big thing, you know. I'm going to trying to work on that for myself and try to be reminded, try to be reminded. So thank you for your time.
Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. You know, brother, there's a lot of this going on every day. And Shaitan has fooled us to the point where we are thinking our evil deeds are okay, making excuses why
That's
they're okay.
the problem.
And if we could just, and I, myself included, if we can just somehow practice this religion
To the best of our ability until we learn better.
and actually implement it in our lives, you know,
That's what it is.
You know, we can read books all day, we can sit with anybody, but remember the Prophet Muhammad said, "I have came but to what? Perfect
Your
good character."
That's, you know
good
that
character.
You know, there's so many hadith. You know, we it's funny because I look at the people, you know, you got people who go over to Medina, who learn Arabic, who go to Kent, wherever they go, all over the world, they study books all day and all night long. But it has no effect on their character.
No.
What is that? What does that mean? Because everything in Islam, that's the purpose of it. The zakat, the song, the prayer, the shahada, the hajj, the Ramadan, the brotherhood, the masjid. It's all meant to purify your heart. So on the day of judgment, when you go before Allah, you have something in your account of good deeds. You have some tawbah in your account of things you've done that you've been forgiven for. And you have a heart that is pure as you could possibly get it. And then and only then can you hope for his mercy.
You know what? You know what, Sherry? I was me and my wife yesterday, we were talking about making hajj. And I was explaining to my wife, because you said something, and it made me think about it. Am I ready to make hajj? Because, you know, once you make hajj, inshallah, Allah accepts it. Your slate is clean.
Yeah.
No more sins, no more, you know, you're like a brand new baby, like you just took your shahada all over.
Yeah, you want to utilize that.
When I come back to the States,
you don't want to come back.
I don't want to watch no more TV. I don't want no music. I want to keep my gaze lower. I want to do everything to preserve that clean slate.
Because if we had known when we took our shahadas that was the case, but see, when you was at that case, it's a process we learned. Like even now, we're talking about backbiting and riba and slander. Listen to what the sister said. The sister said most people don't even know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
We've explained it 4 or 5 times during the show, and we'll give you one more big synopsis. Riba, backbiting means saying something when a person is or is not present that they will not like to hear.
Whether it's truthful.
Whether it's truthful
or slanderous. You ready to call her? Inshallah. Let's take a caller. You want a hard truth with your guest, Muhammad Hard Truth Smith?
Just be quiet. Everybody.
Hello?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How you doing, sis? Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. This subject is quite interesting, but it's a shame that for women naturally born to run their mouth. Don't know why it happened like that. This is how it is. But to see men just ding, discuss the Muslims, whether it be true or not, is sickening to me.
a Muslim for over 20 years and used to work at the masjid. And a husband of mine, experience of mine, told someone who was known for running a mouth some things about me, and my brother allowed me to open up the grave and make it spacious for him. Is now living now, came to me and was very upset about what was being said about me around the masjid, which I had no knowledge of. And I looked at him and I smiled and I didn't say anything. I didn't say I did it. I didn't say I didn't do it. I just told him I wasn't always Muslim. Where do we draw the line at? I mean, this has me in a rate of not trusting the next person. When a husband goes around and slanders a wife's name, or you're in the middle of the breakup, or whatever.
Which happens a lot. It happens a lot. Yeah, it happens a lot.
Oh man, we act like we act like
they all let me. They had so much in love. He's my world, and I can't live without him. And a lot of things giving them to me, and then a week later, it's some stuff. He ain't this, he ain't that. You know what I'm saying? And I look at these folks, and I've got to the point now when I see this, because I read the feed all the time, I just believe people. I'm just cutting them out of my circle. Point blank period.
Sis, let me tell you something that's one of my favorite. I thought, I can't remember it's from Ali or Sufyan al-Thawri, Hassan al-Basri. I can't remember who it's from, but it says something to the effect. It says, if you have two friends, one friend is a perfume vendor. If you go into his shop and you don't buy anything, you come out smelling like perfume. Your other friend is a blacksmith. If you go into his shop and you don't buy anything, you come out smelling like smoke. Basically, what I think the gist of the part was this. Me personally, I'm an only child, so I'm kind of a loner anyway. But I try to hang around people who are better than me, or at least at trying to strive to be at the level that I'm at, because they're going to be the only people that help you. Steel sharpens steel. If you hang around people that are at the same level as you or beneath you, the only thing they're going to do is drag you to the same place that they going. Real talk. Like you said, stay away from people, man.
And you know, but see, the thing is, what the sister said, this came from her husband. You know, and that's a major sin. You know, we have, first of all, that's one of the rights of the
No, but what she said it came from her husband, but then she said it was all over the masjid. So it means that once her husband said it, other people start talking. You see, because he said it was over the masjid.
So now it becomes not just a lie or slander.
Now it's terrible.
Somebody's carrying the tale. May Allah protect us all. I mean, you know, there was how did I forget? What is wrong with me? Okay.
You should have told me that.
There was a time where the Prophet ﷺ was with Abu Bakr. And this man was abusing Abu Bakr.
I know that.
He was abusing Abu Bakr. And the whole time the Prophet ﷺ was smiling.
Because Abu Bakr was sitting.
Because Abu Bakr didn't say anything. He didn't say nothing. As soon as Abu Bakr went to say something, the Prophet walked away. And so he said, "Oh, Messenger of Allah." He said,
he chased him down.
Yeah, he chased him down. Like, "Oh, Messenger of Allah." He said, when the man was abusing me, you didn't say nothing. You were smiling. He said, but when I went to defend myself, you left.
Wow.
The Prophet ﷺ said, you correct me if I'm wrong, right? The Prophet ﷺ said, he said, all while the man was abusing you, the malaika was making dua for you.
Yeah.
As soon as you went to say something, the malaikas left, so I left. You know, and so that's the beauty of it, of having that patience and trusting in Allah, which a lot of us are not able to do. We're not able to have that patience, and we're not able to put our trust in Allah.
You know what? It goes back to what we always talk about, man. I mean, we could talk about this show we could talk about a gazillion things, but it's all gonna always come back to one thing: Iman. Do you believe what you? And the problem with people's Iman is people don't study and people don't know. People should know that the dua of the oppressed is answered. Things like that. That everything that you go through in this life, no matter what it may be, it could be either a test from Allah or punishment from Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we don't look at it like this. We look at it like this Negro did this to me or this happened. We look at it like that, and that's not what it is. If I'm hungry one day and there's no food to eat somewhere or something like that, I know that's the qadr of Allah. We don't that tawakkul, that's not, it's just not happening, because I hear too many people mention other things besides Allah when things happen.
Alhamdulillah. You still there, sis?
Yeah, some here.
Alhamdulillah.
My saying is, and my saying is, and I tell a lot of my sisters, you know, call me up because I am older than them, a lot older than them, and a lot more experience in things, and I tell them this, and Allah forgive me, because I say it with conviction. Old niggas, new Muslims. They bring me always into the scene, and then they try to be, and we all try, and I get that. We all work in progress. Every day I do something that I know that I'm not supposed to do. Not intentionally, but it might be running my mouth, or whatever it is, or begin to say Bismillah before I eat. It's the little things that are going to affect us on the day of Yom Kippur. The big ones we know about, and we strive hard to stay away from them. It's the little things. Like when somebody calls you to talk about your sister, or they feel off of the sister, or whatever. In my sisterhood, where I came from, when sister got a problem with another sister, I go get both of them and bring them in my office.
Alhamdulillah.
Don't come to me like that. I don't want to hear it. Because the dog, my grandma used to always say, a dog that bring a bone will take a bone away. Meaning that if somebody comes to you talking about somebody else, surely when you are not present, they are talking about you.
I mean, you know what, sister? They done said that. I think that's translated in every language, every dialect. I think the animals even know that.
I know the dogs know it.
Yeah.
If they don't have to know, the dogs definitely know.
Yeah.
Okay, sisters, Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you with a good night, inshallah. Stay on the line, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
And may Allah continue to bless you guys.
Ameen. Ameen. Alhamdulillah. So we want to remind everyone that the Hard Truth comes on every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Inshallah, we try to be punctual. We try to run it like clockwork. Please subscribe to the Hard Truth page on YouTube. If those people who called in on Blog Talk Radio, go to our YouTube page. That's Muhammad Hard Truth Smith, MUHAMMAD, Hard Truth Smith. And subscribe to my page, please, so we can keep the updates going and keep everybody informed of what's going on. Also, we're on Facebook. And if you have a topic that you want to discuss, then you can inbox me on Facebook. You can put on my timeline. Or you can email me at IslamicIslandRadio@gmail.com. That's IslamicIslandRadio@gmail.com. Inshallah, we always try to bring the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the hard truth to the best of our abilities, with the permission of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So with that being said, I want to also thank my co-host, Brother Ali. Alhamdulillah, may Allah preserve you. Ameen. Thank my wife for this good tea that she gave. Stopped my coughing tonight. Alhamdulillah, knocked it all the way out. It was very good. Alhamdulillah. And with that being said, people, if we said anything that is wrong, that is incorrect, that is misleading, then we ask you to make dua for us and forgive us, and ask Allah to forgive us, and ask Allah to strengthen our knowledge so that it be a benefit for ourselves and for the rest of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if we said anything that is correct, that makes you want to be muqarrabun, qareebullah, makes you want to be closer to Allah Azza wa Jalla, inspire you to be as-sabiqun, those who are foremost in the deen, then verily all the praise is due to Allah as we control all things. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. And we are out of here, people. We will catch you next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
My daddy has to go home now. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
That was good, man. You know what, man?